Hello. To begin my talk today, I would like you to do me a small favor. If you identify yourself or are identified as an introvert, can you raise your hand, please? Thank you. How about extrovert? Would you mind doing me the same favor? Awesome. As you can see that although there is an overwhelming number of extroverts in this room, there's still a very substantial amount of introvert there. Today I'm honored to be here to talk to you about my journey of an introvert becoming more extroverted. During this safari, I learned more about my competence, my potential ability, and most importantly, learned how barriers such as stereotypes has restricted me from achieving success. In the journey filled with obstacles, the best companion of mine, as counterintuitive as you may think, is the internet. I come from a small town in the province of Quang Ngai, which is located in the central coast of Vietnam, a place where dial-up, which is an ancient network dated back 40 years ago, is still being used until 2013. Now you can imagine what our concept of a high-speed internet connection is. The first time I have restricted access to the internet was 5 years ago, and I never forgot that moment. Although it could take up to 1 minute to load some simple website like google.com. All I still reminisce is the magic, the miracle of an information superhighway. It's like a bridge that connects me to the outer world. And at my 14-year-old birthday, I am granted with unrestricted access to the internet, of course with the guiding and supervision from my parents. I started my expedition of this great uncharted network. And some invisible hands has brought me into the SDA Developers Forum, where my life is forever changed. To be honest, I was super shy, introvert, and unconfident. I remember back to middle school, I always come with the answers very quickly, and I always raise my hand every time, but under the desk. For your information, being a conservative region in East Asia, our culture actually promotes an introvert lifestyle, and society imposes a high degree of stereotypes on the individual. We even have a proverb for this phenomenon called, "Never step out of your village bamboo fences." Traditionally, in Vietnamese rural area, we have bamboo fences that cover the whole village, and many people, from the moment being born to death, has hardly go beyond their village. I consider those bamboo fences as the comfort zone, the barrier that restricted me from reaching further, and it is built on introversion, stereotypes, and a closed culture. Fortunately, the internet is a sandbox where no barrier exists. Nobody has a prejudice or a stereotype on you. Anything related to races, nationalities, or social status are completely blind on those platforms. You can be anonymous, you can be anyone. In fact, some of my collaborating developers in the forum turns out to be working for big tech giant in the Silicon Valley. So I started to become their software tester, reporting error for them to improve their project. During that process, we talked with each other, and I learned a lot from them. Not just some coding knowledge, but their lifestyle and culture. Only after 6 months, I am competent enough and confident enough to launch my very own software called the EZ2 sound system. Honestly, I don't see it very seriously, but just a accumulation of the stuff that I learned from the people there, and a test for my competence. The result was remarkable. A few weeks after it launched, my software got featured on the front page of the XDA news portal of the forum that have over 5 million developers. I also got mentioned on over 25 online technology newspapers globally and have some interview with the local news channel. More than that, my software is implemented on a lot of projects and rooms of my fellow developers. But I regard this achievement less of a developer career success and more of a personal accomplishment. I have proved that I can make a difference, that I can do substantial things if I have a faith in myself. I've challenged the introversion in my soul, the stereotypes of mediocrity in my culture, to aim for my desire. That is truly the fruit that the internet has granted me. Except they might set the precedence for me to achieve better goals in my real life. I start to do things that I always dreamed but never dared to do. Studying abroad, starting my own non-profit initiative, launching my club, opening a popular YouTube channel, or writing for a trendy magazine. I consider each of those challenges as a huge opportunity for me to make myself more extroverted, to rediscover my potential ability. Without the internet, the very usher of this journey would never become a reality. Contrary to the expectation of many people, I don't regard the internet as a curse or a negativity to our society. Instead, I see it as a huge opportunity for people to change their life, to lift away the barrier of restriction, of stereotypes of introversion that bar them from chasing their dream. History has shown us that good intended inventions and discoveries, such as opioid, which was originally used as a very effective painkiller, can become a disaster if being used abusively. Is it up to you to decide whether the internet could trigger your Herculean strength or your Achilles heel? Thank you.